Good morning. How you doing? So market pushed a little higher yesterday and got rejected. And that doesn't mark a top, only in 2020 hindsight, but maybe. We know that, as we've been discussing, that this run up got a little extended, still in a beautiful uptrend. I don't know about how beautiful, honestly, a lot of overlapping bars and ups and downs. And, you know the story about the pullback here, but that was a really nice advance, kind of, I suspect, also fueled by some short covering and aggressive buying, of course. And then we got this consolidation. And so we've got a very, very important line in the sand here, short term. And we talked about yesterday, and it did not get violated. Prices were rejected from this 39.60-ish area. And so we're pretty much where we were. We got a little bit more information, but look, it's still this line. If it breaks down through, opens up the door to a short-term pullback, right? Which will leave a top of some significance. And I say that because it's different than any of these if it plays out that way. All right. Let's get a little highlighter here. All right. So, so in here, it moves up and you get a 180 type of reversal, big red bar down, right? Pulls back to the 20. And I don't know, this year, this craziness that went on. And anyway, and this is why I say this, not such a clean or beautiful type of uptrend, very erratic price action going on here. But anyway, so this top here was a 2-bar reversal. This one here, a little bit more significant, but we know that this was news driven by the GME thing and the hedge funds, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, over here, it runs up. And yesterday's theme was it better not break this low. And it didn't. So now, you've got the sideways price action, right there. We've got the Friday price action, the buying frenzy into the close. And then there was the follow through and rejection yesterday. So the combination of these candles, right, bar by bar analysis, and this level where buyers were stepping up on the dip, it goes below that. You've got now a bunch of traders, institutions that solidly believed it was going higher, and it didn't. So the demand turns into supply. Where's the next level of demand below? Well, down here, and it's not that significant. Internals being the way they are, which we covered yesterday. I mean, you could just push down through that for a little deeper correction, but hey, it's got to break this level first. Otherwise, it's just, the beginnings of maybe another higher trading range. So more running in place. Know what you're dealing with. About the pivot high, add 38.50. 38.50. This is really nothing, McGraw. I mean, look, people will focus on that, but through MTS method, prices traded below and back above, it's been neutralized. So on the way up, where this was the stopping point in this area of the high, this day dropped back down, and intraday there was a little double bottom right here between those bars, and it went back up again. So of course we know that this is a widely followed concept of what was resistance becomes support, so on and so forth. But in reality, what you find is that think about it this way, who takes action first on retracements? Prices are downtrending intraday. It's the intraday traders and the hedge funds that are more aggressive. Now, while they'll be aware of this, right? If we go and look at what's to the left, just to reinforce this point. We have to go further back, I guess. Right. So you can see where the thing is lining up. It's right there. So one of the concepts from MTS to reinforce this concept is that an overlapping area of opens and closes, which is what we have here, close, right? Candle body, open. That area is going to be a base in a smaller time frame. And so here's your base in the smaller time frame. So this area is what's going on right here. So should that break, I guess we can, right, just add another. This is what is going to be traded. So as this pulls back, let's assume, and it's not that far from here to here, but from an intraday point of view, it's relatively large. And so if we would say, okay, from here to here, our bias is to be on the short side. Well, where are we going to buy to cover, and where are we going to consider possibly longs if we start getting this kind of price action down here? And then eventually, of course, it's got to start to move up again. It could come down here and chop around and, get ugly to the downside. So, yes, neutralizing is the key concept. Just saying, which in essence, it says, was this area ever used as a reference point before? And so that's another easy way of saying, how much potential should I pay attention to that? But in MTS, I say, well, if it traded below and back up above, it traded through it, it's been neutralized. That doesn't mean it's not in play in some way, but the reality of this is what's in play as it comes down in this area, right, on the intraday charts. All right, let's continue, because this is kind of like what's going on all over the place right now. And some of these were up before. Look at the NQs. They're getting deep now. So think about this. We've got a buying frenzy on Friday. It's like, I got to be in this market. I know it's a long weekend, whatever. This market's so bullish, I got to get in. And, sideways, buying frenzy, one up day, and they're dumping already. But this has kind of been the MO of this market. It's like, okay, I got to be in. Let me get out. It's like walking on eggshells. And so deep pullback already after a breakout and the beginnings of a breakout failure. It's sitting on support. We'll see what it does there. 38.65 put spread for tomorrow. Oh, today is freaking Wednesday. I'm sorry about the friggin', but I forgot about the holiday. 38.65. Well, there's nothing there, but I don't know. I would tend to wait for it to start to break, McGraw, and you know better than I, and we've discussed, sometimes waiting on 0 DTA, it's it gets down there, and because of the time decay, now the option is worth less, so it's a little tricky. I like the distance from where it is, but if it breaks through here, it could be a little bit of a selling frenzy, and you know what I mean? That can get painful. Below 38.80. Well, yeah, below 38.80. So anyway, you've got that line in the sand. Let's see what things do in the first, 15 minutes or so, how fast it might get down there or not. So assuming this does open weak, selling above this area should make a whole lot of sense, right? Up above, 39 or 39.60 or so, a little bit more. Right, so this is pretty big already coming down. Look at how it's dropping right into that area there. And YM showing a little relative strength, actually. So Guys, look at this. Pivot low, pivot low, pivot low. This thing drops hard. Now, theoretically, the way that came down with that big bar, it's going through that. But with all of this hocus pocus that is around there, with a gazillion lines on your chart, I'm not saying everybody here, but you know, the fib lines, the trend lines, the Bollinger Bands, the VWAPs, just look to the damn left. Say it every day, but there's those out there that are still stuck on the old world of, all the fancy stuff that comes in your trading platform, majority of which are unnecessary. Yesterday, I mentioned potential M top, momentum move up, wide range bar, shallow retracements near the prior high. Now it's near that bottoming tail bar. It's a type of pattern that suggests it's going down. However, it's short term. It's fine. We take advantage of it, short, intraday, whatever. But this kind of a pattern where it can form like a bull flag, where it comes down to this area, neutralized anyway, there's nothing here, but nowhere near major support. So the fact that it went up with such strength, it could come down and kind of jiggle its way down and come down and turn back up again. So, corrective process is happening here. And 38.45, I think, would be a no-brainer. I don't think it'd be going down there today. Lawrence, what, over the last 25 years or so, I tell you something. I got a million stories because I've been doing this forever, right? So when I used to do these seminars in hotels, right, my own guys that used to work for me, right, they knew what I was going to say, and and Greg's going to look to the left again, right? But they didn't take my own employees that were students, they became employees, kind of jokingly made that. But as time went on, it was like, okay, the epiphany hit them too. And it's such a simple thing, but it's powerful. And it just releases you from all that crap that people put on their chart. Anyway, this looks like it's going lower. It was weak yesterday. It's got room to go down. So retracements on this, look to short it. Put spread or call spread, whatever, if there's juice. Bonds popping up a little bit, right? They typically a little bit of an inverse thing. Now it's getting close to this relatively wide target area. So, this little bit of stabilization doesn't mean a darn thing. TBT in the ETF trader is doing really well. Been in this for a while. Broke out of this long range here. Looks great. Sorry for the noise here, guys. I think it's over sometime later today for the most part. What's going on here? Oil getting rejected too a little bit, but bullish. I guess gold, I don't know. It's got its last stopping point here. Got to get turned around anyway. Would have been a good sell setup. I was hoping that it would fail and things would roll back up, but that didn't happen. Silver still showing relative strength. See gold going down. It got rejected here too, but showing relative strength. And the transports right back up to the top of the range. And you know what? As we look at these other markets rejecting and transports are up where things are going to sell, I think the markets are in for a little bit more of a correction here, and we'll just see how far it goes over the next week or so. So just take a look here since it's so in the news. Bitcoin clears 50,000 historic and looks like it's going higher. All yours, Dan.
Yep, the media's now, they're all talking about 100,000. So we will see. That's just an asset class I do not understand. All right, I just sent an alert on Piton. That's our problem. We were going to leg into a condor yesterday, 180 reversal. So we're keep a tight eye on that. I see Netflix here diving pre-market. Tesla. One of you were talking about a put spread yesterday, and I sure hope I talked you out of it. I mean, that is not a bullish trade. That's a big old topping pattern, M top, price void. I think this thing is going to work its way to the low 700s. Sam, your drop down. We actually started with a call spread, and then we legged into a condor, and then we stopped out yesterday with a small gain. But I want to keep an eye on this to put on another one. Airlines were strong yesterday. We entered some of those. Look at this Bitcoin thing we're in. Look at this little rocket ship. We bought this last Friday. It's acting beautifully. Debbie, your uranium, we have a fantastic trade on that. I updated that earlier. Let's look at gappers now. In earnings, Amazon got an upgrade, but no pattern. This, wow, I don't know what's up here, but this is a gap and crap candidate, gapping from $5 to 12. But believe it or not, actually pre-market, it's holding pretty impressive. W. Yeah, we'll see if it settles down. That's not bad. It just needs to settle down. Shop, I posted as a call spread idea, had earnings. Things that rally this much into earnings, I just have a bias of short, whether it gaps up, down, or flat. And it's just, that's my bias. And now we got a bearish gap. So I definitely want to keep an eye on that for a call spread. Riot here in the Bitcoin space. I'm watching this for a gap and crap. Today might be the day. Who knows? It might rally all the way to $100. I don't know. And DFS was on our list yesterday. If it can now take out yesterday's high, then it's a buy for 1 to 2 to whatever swing trade, because it won't take out the high if the stock and or the market are weak. And so that's why many times into the close, I say, don't buy it now, but tomorrow over today's high. That just gives me so much more confidence, particularly now with a gap down. Sono here, see if it can stabilize that recent blast off. VIR, gap in the $75, 30-minute high. That's not bad. VIR, I'll put that in a window. Wix 291, no pattern. That had earnings. Ring, we had a beautiful 1, 2, 3 breakout here. Swing trade. Earnings though, we don't hold over earnings. Now it looks like a short-term top. Possibly under 30-minute low. We can do a call spread for Friday. LSCC earnings, I can't tell where it's gapping. Oh, Penn is another one that I hope it doesn't turn into a problem. It really needs to hold right here. That's a buy setup on support. And yesterday's high looked like a 1-2. It looked fantastic. But what I was saying, in the green room was there was a lot of stocks that in the afternoon were then turning into topping tails under the open. And I said, hey, this is kind of the sign. This is what happens. This is what happens when you get a turn. Things that look fantastic are just slowly starting to deteriorate. Oh, I was listening to Stephanie Pomboy from Macro Mavens. Um, I love her analysis. I told you I met her a while back through my friend David Tice in Dallas, and she said in much more eloquent terms than I have been doing over the last 11 months, where I've been just shaking my head at this market rally, and it's like buying a wrecked automobile for retail price. And the salesman saying, oh, don't worry, it'll get fixed someday. So just shut up and pay me retail for it. She was saying, she says the market valuation right now, she said not only is as we all know, is fully priced in a full booming economic recovery from pandemic, but it's also pricing in this crazy growth, beyond that number. And she's like, but you know, but then she's realistic and says, well, does that mean I'm going to short it right now? She says, no. I mean, she says, I think it's going higher, particularly with the stimulus going to all the Robin Boy people. She thinks those kids, they know how to make money, just put it in the market, buy whatever Reddit says to, and you become a millionaire. And she says that might then give us the blow off top. Oh, and I saw a reclip of Biden also. He was there lobbying last night, wherever. Norbert's asking about CNDT. And he's just there on TV saying, we should have no spending limit. Spend whatever we want right now. Just spend, 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 spend. And that's why he wants his 1.9 trillion fast. This one, 610. It's a nice gap over a red bar. Monthly looks higher. So it's a watch, getting far from the 20 though, with a questionable market. So I'd prefer it if it were closer to support, but it's a watch, Norbert. Let me continue. Yeah, Brown, of course. No, it's I mean the positive of that is financial education. I think they're unfortunately many of them are just doing it without proper education, obviously, and they're just following a chat room, not having any idea what they're doing. And those, unfortunately, history says they won't survive. No diode, no gap yet. No car. That was a nice reversal 2 days ago, last Friday. That was a beautiful reversal. So this is a 30-minute high candidate. I like that. Gapping down 67 bucks. That's a bearish gap. We'll see how it sets up. EXAS. This would have been a beautiful 1, 2, 3 continuation long over the highs, the earnings, and now it's gapping down. So, that's why we don't trade earnings. We'll see what it does. Hey, Debbie, look at URA. Remember I got that from you? We're still in it, Debbie. We got 100% of our position. 100%. I have not even sold a third yet. And we got in on this beautiful day right here on February 5. So we're up 35% already. It's a bullish gap, but no pattern. A Agilent. Cousin NXE. Yeah, that looks good, Debbie. That's a hold. I like it. Stop Friday's low. That looks good. But no pattern. These are earnings. Net, no pattern. AIG. It's a mess, although If it can get over last week's high, it looks higher. Let's see, monthly. Nah, monthly's getting close to the prior high. But see how I had to look because I only show a little bit of data here. If this had nothing to the left, then that could have been a core long right there, but it wasn't looking at enough data. We still have like 3 core longs. Alpha Romeo, we're core long. We've been in this since $5. We're up almost 100%. We're in CDEV. Look at this. We're in this way down here at 250. CDEV, we're up beautiful. Get the other one. Let's continue. And Devon gapping down on earnings. No pattern. Yeah, let me, this thing's a mess. Clear. And yeah, that's just another story of you've heard me say that, yeah, Berkshire. But Debbie, just the point that again, it's just the stupid media being programmed to, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do right now. That those reports that they're required to file with the SEC showing, X% changes in their portfolio, that is past tense. So why should a stock be up 10% gap up on prior news? Berkshire is these actions are completed. So why is Verizon have a big bullish gap? Well, we know the reason because demand is greater than supply. But it's so funny to me how it just sucks the sheep in like that don't know any better. So Chevron, look, I would bet that Berkshire has some smart people working for him, and he probably bought down here at this prior low. So it's already gone from $85, and now it's gapping up to 97. I think you got rocks in your head to buy Chevron gap up right now. Apple, he said he trimmed his position in that. And so that's gapping down. Oh, Berkshire trimmed his position. I better sell mine then. Just amazing, the sheep out there. Let's see. G-Set over to, yeah, over yesterday's high, Debbie. Yeah, that looks fine. It's making the turn here after the pullback. Now I'm not liking my pin. All right, we needed it to hold that 50% mark too. These are just signs of the turn, folks. I mean, look at Roku yesterday, and that was another example where it looks so good in the morning. Now look at it. Tesla's being dumped here. Debbie, mark my words. I don't want to give you a false sense of shorting, but I think Tesla's going to the low 700s. That's what this chart tells me. That is a big old topping pattern. I wish we were still in our call spread. All right, Piton is a big problem right now. I wanted to leg into a call spread yesterday. That's not looking good. Not looking good. So we got to keep a tight leash on this. Now everyone's afraid of shorting? Not me. Of the Dow 30, I see only 5 green stocks. I saw my 15-minute charts all over the place are pretty